Okay, this brief video is to cover writing the equation of a circle or getting the center and the radius of a circle from the equation. In the same lesson, there's also going to be a brief review of the midpoint formula and the distance formula for lines or points. Okay, it's really important to know that in the standard form of the equation of a circle, which you can see in the box above what I'm writing here, that the center is h, comma, k. So if you're looking at an equation, you're always going to do the opposite of h and the opposite of k. And then, of course, r over here stands for the radius of the circle. Okay, so example 7 here, really quick. It says write the standard form of the equation if the center is 0, 0, and the radius is 5. Okay, so you do x minus 0, which is your x coordinate, squared, plus y minus 0, which again is your y coordinate of the center, quantity squared, equals your radius, in this case 5, squared. So for the standard form of the equation of the circle, centered at 0, 0, and a radius of 5 is x squared plus y squared equals 25. All right, if we actually put some numbers in there other than the origin for our center, it's still just as easy. So we have x minus a negative 7 is my x coordinate of my center. So I'm going to do plus 7 minus a negative is plus squared plus, for the y, my center is negative 4. So I do y minus negative 4, so plus 4 squared. And my radius is 7, so I do 7 squared. So if I just finish that by squaring the 7, that gives me x plus 7 quantity squared plus y plus 4 quantity squared equals 49. All right, there's your simple ways to do it, just plugging the numbers in and simplifying. Okay, if you have an example like number 9 here, write the standard form of the equation of the circle if the endpoints of the diameter are negative 4, 1 and 4, 1. Okay, we need to find a couple things in order to do this. We need to find the center, and we need to find the radius. Now the problem gives us the hint that the midpoint formula is listed there because the center is going to be halfway between the endpoints of the diameter. So in this case, it's going to be negative 4 plus 4 over 2, comma, negative 1 plus 1 over 2. Both of those would give you 0. So the center is the origin. Now for the length of the radius would be the distance from the center to one of the endpoints. And we're going to have to use the distance formula. The distance formula is d is equal to the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 quantity squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 quantity squared. All right, so in our case, that would be the distance equals, let's see, I'm going to use 4, 1 as my starting point and 0, 0 as my ending point. So that's going to give me the square root of 4 minus 0 squared plus 1 minus 0 squared. So that is 16 plus 1. So the distance of the radius, because I'm going from the center to one of the endpoints, is the square root of 17. So I can use the center and the radius to write my equation. So my equation, standard equation, is x minus h, so in this case x minus 0 squared, so that's just x squared, plus y minus 0 squared, so that's just y squared, equals the square root of 17 squared, so that is just 17. So that's our answer. Okay. Very important there. You had to use a couple different things. You had to use the midpoint formula, and you had to use the distance formula. Okay? So it's going to be important that you know those and that you know the standard equation of a circle. All right, last example here. Write the standard form of the equation of the circle if the center is 3, -2, and it passes through -1, 1. Okay, couple things. One thing we don't know there is, what is the radius? If the center is 3, 2, and it passes through a point, you can just find the distance between those two, and that will tell you what the radius is. So you can say r is equal to square root. Let's go with -1 minus 3 quantity squared plus 1 minus a -2, so plus 2 quantity squared. So that's -4 squared, so that's 16. And that's 3 squared, so that's 9. So that's a square root of 25. So r is 5. Okay, if I want to write the standard form of the equation, it starts with x minus h, so x minus 3 quantity squared plus y minus k, so that's y minus -2, so y plus 2 squared equals r squared. 5 squared would give us 25. And that's the brief lesson.